Can you explain to me what asymptomatic is? Because I hear this stuff, and this is another thing that gets tied up in the media of what that actually means. Oh, well, I might be asymptomatic. I might have it, but I can't spread it. I hear that too. And can you kind of clear up like what the hell asymptomatic means?
So asymptomatic, with reference to a virus infection, simply means you don't have any symptoms. So what is a symptom? It's an important word because it's different from a sign. You can talk
Mhm.
about symptoms of infection or signs. A sign is what someone else can see. So if you have a rash from measles, that's a sign because the doctor can look at it and say, oh, you might have measles, right? But if you have an upset stomach, that's a symptom. Only you can feel it.
Hmm.
Upset stomach, muscle aches, sore throat. Those are symptoms because only the patient can say, I have this or that. And
Right.
whereas a sign, other people can observe. Now, if someone took your blood and measured virus in it and found virus, you wouldn't know that. So that's not a symptom, but it's a sign because it can be measured by someone else, right?
Yeah, right.
So asymptomatic means you don't feel anything different. You don't feel upset stomach. You don't feel tired. You don't have a sore throat. But I guarantee if we look in your nose, we could find virus RNA by PCR. That's a sign. So asymptomatic is very specific. It means you cannot feel anything different. And the problem with that is some people think, well, how can I be infected and be asymptomatic? Well, that's because symptoms are only part of the whole picture. The signs, which are your immune response kicking in, the virus load in your nose, we could measure that and that would be there for sure. But symptomatic is simply an infection that goes through its course and you don't feel anything. And remember, the other problem with symptoms is your threshold for symptoms might be different from mine. So what knocks you out could do nothing to me, right? I could say, oh, I felt fine the last 2 weeks. And the same things would have made you, tired and whatever. So whenever you ask a person in a study, have you had any symptoms of the following? They'd say, no, 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 no. But then the next person who might say, yes, yes, and they both had the same, but they perceive it differently. So symptomatology is a very subjective issue, but it simply refers to you feeling some effect of an infection. So SARS-CoV-2 can cause about 20% of infections are asymptomatic, and that is the virus gets in you, it reproduces in your upper tract mostly, it doesn't spread down into your lung. Your immune response responds, so you could measure antibodies, you would probably be protected against infection. But most importantly, you can transmit the virus to someone else despite you not feeling anything from the infection.
Right.
We know for sure that asymptomatic infections can certainly transmit. And that was learned very early out. And that's different from SARS-1, where when you were at the transmission phase, you were pretty sick most of the time. And you were often in the hospital, which is why we could limit transmission and eventually stop that outbreak. But here, you knew it. Here, so many people are infected and walking around. That's why it spread so well.